She was a phantom, a ghostly figure that seemed to drift through the night, unseen and unheard. A whisper of death in the night. Her presence was like a chilling breeze that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who crossed her path. Vera Rencz, known as the Red Spider, spun a web of deceit and treachery that ensnared the hearts of unsuspecting men. Like a black widow spider, she lured them in with her charm and beauty, only to entrap them in her deadly embrace. Her eyes, cold and emotionless, betrayed no hint of the darkness within. She silenced her victims forever, leaving behind only gravestones in a misty cemetery as silent witnesses to her crimes. Over a dozen souls were lost to her deadly embrace, their lives cut short by her insatiable thirst for control and power. The old worn photographs scattered on a table are all that remain of these men, each one a testament to her lethal allure. Their disappearances were shrouded in an unsettling mystery, like a foggy, mysterious forest that concealed the truth. The abandoned house in twilight stands as a haunting reminder of the secrets buried within its walls. No trace, no evidence, just chilling silence. The empty, dimly lit room with cobwebs in a dark corner echoes the eerie stillness that followed her every move. The world knew her as a charming socialite, an elegant woman who graced the ballrooms of 1920s Europe with her presence. She laughed and danced at high society parties, her beauty and grace captivating all who beheld her. In the glamorous ballrooms, amidst the slow dancing couples and lavish decor, she was a captivating presence. Her allure was undeniable, and she moved through the crowd with an air of mystery that only added to her charm. But behind her alluring facade lurked a darkness that would stain the annals of history. Her face, half in shadow, hinted at the sinister secrets she kept hidden. The dark, empty corridors of her mansion were silent witnesses to the horrors that unfolded within. The whispers started subtly, like the rustle of dry leaves in a graveyard. At first they were barely noticeable, just faint murmurs that could easily be dismissed. But as more men vanished, the whispers grew louder, spreading fear and suspicion. Men, once smitten by Vera's beauty, vanished without a trace. Their portraits, once vibrant, faded away, and shadowy figures disappeared into the night, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Their absences, though unsettling, were easily dismissed in the turbulent wake of World War I. The chaos and destruction of the war provided the perfect cover for her nefarious deeds, and the headlines of the time were filled with stories of loss and tragedy. After all, who could suspect a woman, especially one who looked so innocent and pure? Her reflection in the mirror, however, revealed a sinister expression that hinted at the darkness within, let alone one as enchanting as Vera of such heinous acts. Her enchanting smile and elegant attire masked the true nature of her soul, a soul that was as dark and sinister as the background that surrounded her. Born in 1903 in Berkerekul, a town nestled in the tumultuous region that is now Serbia, Vera Rencz's life was destined to be anything but ordinary. The early 20th century was a time of great upheaval and change, and Berkerekul was no exception. The town, with its cobblestone streets and ancient buildings, seemed to hold secrets in every shadowed corner. It was in this enigmatic setting that Vera's story began. Vera Rencz's life was marked by an early exposure to darkness. Her mother, consumed by a crippling melancholy following the death of Vera's father, took her own life when Vera was just a child. This tragic event left an indelible mark on young Vera, shaping her perception of love and loss. The sorrow that enveloped her home was palpable, and the young girl often found herself wandering the empty halls, seeking solace in the silence. This tragedy cast a long shadow on Vera's formative years, perhaps planting the seeds of a chilling indifference to human life. As she grew older, the darkness within her seemed to deepen, manifesting in ways that would later shock and horrify those around her. The once innocent girl began to exhibit a fascination with death, often speaking of it with a detached curiosity that unnerved her peers. Even as a young girl, Vera possessed an alluring beauty, a captivating charm that drew men to her like moths to a flame. Her striking features and enigmatic presence made her the object of many admirers' affections. However, beneath her beguiling exterior lay a heart that had been hardened by loss and betrayal. Vera learned early on that beauty could be a powerful weapon, one that she would wield with deadly precision in the years to come. Her first marriage, a union with a much older bank manager, Karl Schick, ended abruptly when Karl mysteriously disappeared. The townspeople were abuzz with speculation, their whispers filling the air like a swarm of locusts. Some said he had run off with another woman, while others believed he had met a more sinister fate. Vera, with her serene demeanour and mournful eyes, played the role of the grieving widow to perfection. Whispers of infidelity and poison followed Vera, but nothing was ever proven. The lack of evidence only added to the mystery surrounding her, and the townspeople's curiosity grew with each passing day. Vera seemed to thrive on the attention, her enigmatic smile hinting at secrets she would never reveal. The more they speculated, the more she seemed to draw them into her web of intrigue. She was a widow now, free to spin her web once more. With each passing day, Vera's allure grew stronger and her list of admirers longer. Yet behind her captivating facade, a dark plan was taking shape. Vera Rencz, the Black Widow of Berkerekul, was just beginning her deadly dance, one that would leave a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives in its wake. Vera's second marriage to a Romanian man named Joseph Rencz seemed to offer a semblance of normalcy. However, this facade soon crumbled. Consumed by a burning jealousy, Vera began to suspect her husband of infidelity. Driven by a toxic cocktail of possessiveness and paranoia, she resorted to a chilling solution: poison. Arsenic, a silent and deadly killer, became her weapon of choice. A sprinkle in a glass of wine, a pinch in a plate of food, and her victims were none the wiser. Their deaths, agonizing yet swift, were easily attributed to natural causes. After all, who would suspect a loving wife? As the body count rose, the small town of Berkerekul was gripped with fear. The once peaceful community was now overshadowed by a sinister presence that seemed to lurk in every shadow. The local police were baffled, unable to find any leads or suspects. The townsfolk whispered among themselves, speculating about who could be behind the gruesome acts. Vera's thirst for control and dominance grew. She revelled in the power she held over life and death, finding a twisted pleasure in the fear she instilled in others. Her outward appearance of a kind and gentle widow was a perfect mask, hiding the darkness that festered within her soul. She began to see her victims not as human beings but as possessions, mere objects to be manipulated and controlled. Each new victim was a testament to her growing sense of invincibility, a trophy in her macabre collection. Playthings to be used and discarded at her whim. She took a perverse delight in the suffering of others, viewing their pain as a form of entertainment. The more she indulged in her dark desires, the more insatiable her hunger for control became. The disappearances, once a trickle, became a steady stream. The town's sense of security was shattered, replaced by a pervasive sense of dread. Families mourned the loss of their loved ones, while the authorities struggled to piece together the puzzle of the missing. Still, no one suspected the charming widow. Vera's ability to blend in with the community was her greatest weapon. She attended social gatherings, offered condolences to grieving families, and maintained an air of innocence that deflected any suspicion. Her sprawling mansion in Berkerekul held a dark secret, a secret that lay hidden beneath layers of charm and deception. The grand facade of her home masked the horrors that lay within, a stark contrast to the beauty of its exterior. A wine cellar that served as a macabre crypt. The cellar, once a place of celebration and joy, had been transformed into a chamber of death. The rows of barrels and bottles now stood as silent witnesses to the atrocities committed within its walls. Here, she entombed the bodies of her victims, preserved in zinc-lined coffins, each one a grim testament to her chilling efficiency. The coffins, meticulously arranged, bore the names of those who had fallen prey to her insidious charm, each one a grim testament to her chilling efficiency. The cellar was a gallery of her dark triumphs, a place where she could revel in her conquests away from prying eyes. The air in the cellar was thick with the stench of decay, a silent scream trapped within the cold stone walls. The oppressive atmosphere was a constant reminder of the lives that had been snuffed out, their voices forever silenced. a silent scream trapped within the cold stone walls. The cellar was a place of eternal night where the light of day could never penetrate, and the darkness of Vera's soul reigned supreme. Rumors of Vera's gruesome deeds began to circulate, whispered in hushed tones behind closed doors. Some claimed that she didn't simply kill her victims, but indulged in acts of unspeakable depravity. Stories spread of her drinking the blood of her victims, of consuming their hearts in a twisted ritual to absorb their vitality. While these claims remain unsubstantiated, the rumors added a chilling layer to Vera's already terrifying reputation. She became a local legend, a cautionary tale whispered to frighten children and keep husbands in check. The Black Widow of Vera Rencz, they called her, her name synonymous with betrayal, madness, and death. Even her own son Lorenzo, born of her first marriage, was not immune to her deadly manipulations. One fateful day, Lorenzo stumbled upon his mother's ghastly collection in the wine cellar. Horrified by the sight of his own father's preserved body amongst the others, he confronted his mother. Vera, in a desperate attempt to silence her own flesh and blood, tried to justify her actions, claiming she had acted out of love, her victims having wronged her in some way. Lorenzo, disgusted and heartbroken by his mother's confession, could no longer remain silent. He fled the mansion and went straight to the authorities.